So emotional, you know, the relationship between a boy and a 3-foot alien. I was born in '81, and I remember it being it was a re-release in the theaters. My parents were divorced, so I hung out with my father every other weekend, and so he was very excited to take me to see that movie. That's what I remember about it at 5 or 6. I remember the score really affecting me because obviously when I was younger, music affected me uh, prolifically. The audition process for The Social Network was very similar to the rehearsal process, even so that I wasn't convinced that I was in the movie until they actually put me on camera, put me on set. The best way to describe the character, I think, is the performance is a guy giving a performance. I thought of him as sort of Gordon Gekko meets the Riddler or the Joker, or I thought of him as someone who was able to pull strings without you even knowing it. What if these two guys actually suffer from the same insecurity and fear and paranoia? And, you know, I look at Jesse's character, Mark, and how he dealt with that was he invented Facebook. And I look at my character Sean and how he dealt with that was he invented Sean Parker. So that was the character in a nutshell. Take, for example, my last record. That was kind of a character that I invented. While I was in the studio, I started coming up with sounds with what I was writing, and I don't know, it just kind of gave a visual in my mind too, and I imagine that might be what it's like for a screenwriter. But I feel like with music it's slightly more primitive because I think you're giving people a feeling rather than having to break down the specifics of someone's personality, their traits. Essentially, you're creating characters because what you play on stage is a bigger version of an idea of what you're trying to portray through the music. A sound that's non-musical, that's, oh, you know, that's so hard to ask, like, the heart of a musician. But you don't understand, like, I walk down the streets of New York and you hear, like, honking horns and, like, it turns into rhythm. So it's hard. The sound of the ball going into the hole on the green, it has, like, this pluck, or the sound of a great clean golf shot, or the sound that a snowboard makes, but it has a rhythm to it. I walk down the street and I hear people walking and they're talking and everything has a rhythm all the time. So I'd hear horns honking, honk, honk, honk. You know, like when I hear police cars go by, it freaks me out because it's really got a rhythm to it, and it's weird. I try not to do that with my brain, but it just happens.